How can I understand Caro-Kann pawn structures? Imagine stepping onto a chessboard where the battle for control begins right from the opening. The Caro-Kann defense is a popular choice for players who want a solid yet flexible setup. To truly grasp its pawn structures, you need to see how the pawns shape the game. In this opening, white usually trades their central e-pawn for black's d-pawn early. This exchange creates an asymmetrical pawn formation. White often ends up with a pawn on c3, supporting the d for square, while black has pawns on c6 and d5. This setup forms a strong central chain that is hard to break through. Black's pawns on c6 and d5 act like a sturdy wall. They support piece development and prepare for a move like c5 to challenge white's center. White, on the other hand, usually keeps a space advantage and controls the e5 square. This gives white options to push on the king side or try to break through in the center later. The semi-open files are important here. Black's semi-open d-file is a key avenue for rooks and pieces to pressure white's position. White can also use the e-file for their rooks, aiming to create threats. Understanding piece placement is also vital. Black's light-squared bishop often develops outside the pawn chain, sometimes to f5 or g4, which is a hallmark of the Caro-Kann. This active bishop helps black counter white's plans. Black's pawn breaks are crucial. The move, c5, is a main idea to challenge white's control. White might try to push e5 to cramp black's position, but they need to be careful not to overextend and weaken their own structure. In terms of strategy, white usually aims to maintain central control and develop on the king side. Black's goal is to neutralize white's space advantage and look for counterattacks. They might do this with timely pawn breaks or by pressuring white's d for pawn with pieces. Recognizing these pawn structures helps you see the strategic plans behind each move. It's about balancing solidity with opportunities for dynamic play. By studying these pawn formations, you learn to spot imbalances and plan your piece placement accordingly. Knowing when to push, c5 or e5 can turn the tide in your favor. This understanding is key to playing the Caro-Kann defense confidently and handling the middle game positions it produces. Remember, each pawn move influences the entire game, so paying attention to these structures will improve your overall strategy and help you become a better player.